It was a bright afternoon at the Grand Royal Hotel, sunlight flooding through marble walls, staff rushing politely from room to room. Guests laughed, cameras clicked, everything looked safe. But beneath the polished luxury, danger was already in motion. 5 men in business suits, fake smiles, sharp eyes, slowly tightened their circle around Marcus Hale, a young black billionaire known more for his kindness than his wealth. He glanced up, confused. Where were his security guards? Why did every exit suddenly feel blocked? Then his phone buzzed. "Stay still. We're watching." Everyone else stayed unaware. Everyone except the maid, the one who always noticed what others ignored. Her broom stopped, her eyes locked onto the threat. She wasn't just a maid. And those men were about to find out why. But how could she save him before it was too late? Marcus Hale never asked for fame. He earned it and paid for it. Growing up in a small apartment with a single mother who worked double shifts, Marcus learned early that wealth means nothing if you forget kindness. So even after becoming one of the youngest black billionaires in the tech world, he still preferred simple moments. Shaking hands with hotel staff, tipping generously, thanking everyone by name. That's why he chose the Grand Royal Hotel, discreet, elegant, and far away from the noise of investors and cameras. He was here for peace, not business. A rare weekend to breathe before launching a charity program for underprivileged students. But peace has a price. While Marcus studied his schedule in the lobby cafe, he noticed the maid, Elena, wiping tables with quiet care. Most guests walked past her like she was invisible. But Marcus always smiled, always acknowledged her. She appreciated that more than he knew. Today, though, something in her eyes was different, sharper, alert. Elena's instincts were never wrong. She'd seen suspicious men before. She survived a life where danger never knocked. It forced itself inside. Her pulse quickened as she watched the 5 men drift closer to Marcus like predators that didn't want to break the silence just yet. Their suits didn't match their attitude. Their eyes scanned exits more than people. Marcus felt a strange heaviness in the air too, a tension he couldn't name. He told himself he was overthinking, until a server whispered something into his ear and vanished too quickly. Friendly faces suddenly looked unfamiliar. Safe places felt staged. Elena tightened her grip on her broom. She had promised herself to never get involved again. But what happens when the only person who ever treated you with respect becomes the one who needs saving most? Marcus tried to ignore the uneasiness clawing at his chest. He stood, adjusting his blazer, ready to head to his suite. But before he could take a step, 2 of the men blocked his path, smiling like salesmen, with eyes that said the opposite. "Mr. Hale," one said softly, "we need a private word." Marcus frowned. "I don't know you." "You will," the man whispered. Elena watched from a distance, pretending to clean as she carefully observed. The exit behind Marcus was being subtly sealed by the remaining 3. Each positioned perfectly, each waiting for a signal, each step shrinking Marcus's freedom. Marcus turned to call for staff, but the same server who warned him earlier now stood near the elevator, shaking his head in silent fear. He couldn't help, or wouldn't. The wealthy guests nearby sipped their drinks, oblivious. Or maybe they just didn't want to get involved, because sometimes the world chooses silence over courage. Marcus raised his voice just enough. "Is there a problem?" "No problem at all," the man replied, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. "Unless you make one." Marcus's heart pounded. This wasn't a robbery. This felt personal. Elena's breathing quickened. Memories rushed back. The last time she stepped into danger, it cost her everything. She came to this hotel to build a quiet life, a safe life, a normal life. But safety wasn't an option anymore. As she moved closer, she overheard fragments. Take him upstairs. He signs or the board walks away. The car is ready. Marcus's legs stiffened. A corporate coup? A forced takeover? He didn't know. But he did know this. If they reached that elevator, he was gone. Elena grabbed a tray from a nearby table, her hands shaking, not with fear, but with resolve. She whispered to herself, "Invisible people see the most." Taking a deep breath, she stepped directly into the men's path. "Sir," she said to Marcus with a practiced service smile, "your meeting room is ready." The men paused, confused. That hesitation was all she needed. "Elena," Marcus whispered, recognizing the lifeline she just offered him. 5 men, 1 maid, and not a single person willing to stand with her. The situation could explode at any second. Would courage be enough, or was she putting both their lives on the line? The nearest man stepped forward, towering over Elena. A maid giving orders? Move. But Elena didn't move. Her voice remained calm, too calm. "She's not your concern," Marcus warned, trying to break free from the grip tightening on his arm. That tiny act of defiance was the spark. One attacker reached to shove Elena aside, and that was his mistake. In a single fluid motion, she twisted his wrist, sending the metal access card in his hand flying across the marble floor with a loud clink. The man staggered, stunned. The others blinked. Did she really just do that? Before they recovered, Elena kicked the card under a sofa, out of reach. "Who are you?" Marcus gasped, not in fear, but in awe. Elena didn't answer. Her eyes scanned the room with tactical precision. Exits, cameras, obstacles, a mind trained for scenarios far worse than this. The men exchanged looks. This wasn't supposed to be complicated. One of them reached into his jacket. Elena instantly raised both hands, voice sharp. "You don't want to do that here. Cameras, witnesses, think." That gave them pause. People finally started noticing. Phones lifted, eyes widened, whispers spread. Their smooth plan was falling apart. "We're leaving," one hissed. "But this isn't over." They retreated, fast. A forced smile pasted on their faces as if nothing happened, but their eyes promised round 2. Marcus exhaled shakily, alive because someone he barely knew refused to stay invisible. Elena looked at him in the eyes, a silent agreement passing between them. This fight had only just begun. Security finally arrived, but too late to understand what truly happened. The 5 men were already gone, their plan ruined by someone no one ever noticed. Marcus sat down, catching his breath. Elena stood nearby, not triumphant, but steady. He looked at her differently now. Not as a hotel maid, but as the reason he was still standing. "Thank you," he said softly. "I should be thanking you," she replied. "You always saw me." Later, in a quiet meeting room, Marcus learned the truth. Those men were part of a corporate group trying to force him into selling his charity foundation. They believed he'd be alone, unprotected. They underestimated the wrong people. Marcus offered Elena a seat at his table, protection, support, a new path. But she shook her head. "I don't want special treatment," she smiled. "Just fairness, for everyone like me." Her words stayed with him. That very evening, Marcus announced a new initiative dedicated to empowering overlooked workers, the ones the world walks past without seeing. Guests who once ignored Elena suddenly treated her with respect, but she remained humble, sweeping the same floors with a little more pride in every step. Because heroes don't always wear badges. Sometimes they carry brooms.